What's up, guys? It is Death Sentence Anime here. Welcome to the channel where we only talk about anime and comic book stuff. Today we're going to be talking about how to bring Marvel animation back and how to make it great again. So anyway, the first thing you need to do to bring back Marvel animation is bring back the original Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not talking about the one in the 90s, but the one in the early 2000s after the first Avengers movie. And now, it is heavily implied and pretty much confirmed by some of the writers of the old shows back in the day that Spectacular Spider-Man, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes are, linked in the same universe, which is an awesome verse. Like I said, this universe had potential to be straight up better than the DC animated universe, and I stand by that. Believe it or not, I'm actually more of a Marvel fan than I am a DC fan, but when it comes to animation, DC is better, but DC is better because it sticks to its original roots, and it understood that being more faithful to the comics or mixing, a bit of both is more beneficial than just straight up copying the movies like later Marvel shows would eventually do, not even trying to make things original or create co-coherent story arcs. What I mean is, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes was a way better show than Avengers Assemble, but Marvel or Disney, whoever the fuck was behind that shit, decided that we want to make an Avengers show that closely resembles the movie, which is fucking stupid. So they removed one of the best superhero shows to ever fucking exist and replaced it with casual garbage. I watched Avengers Assemble, and while I actually think it does some things better than Earth's Mightiest Heroes did, one of the main things I didn't like about Earth's Mightiest Heroes is that we spent one season with the original 8-member cast, and then in the second season they disassemble almost fucking immediately, which, is very frustrating since some of my favorite Avengers just should have fucking left the team and got replaced really early on. It would have been good if we at least got 2 seasons with the core team. Something I think Justice League the Animated Series does way better than Avengers Mightiest Heroes, because we get 2 seasons with the original 7 members so they can feel more iconic and special. And then we introduce all the other heroes, since it's okay that they fit into the background, since we had 2 whole seasons with them. But at Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, we only got 1 season of the original core cast, and half of the season was them building them up, giving them individual episodes before they even teamed up, which I like, but it kind of takes up half of season 1, and then we only get like a handful of episodes, probably in a single digits of them working together as a team. And then in the second Avengers, Cap is literally replaced by a fucking Skrull, and Hulk leaves, Hawkeye leaves again, you know what I mean? Iron Man leaves. Like, the Avengers disassemble immediately, and then when they slowly start to reform, it's just really disappointing that we didn't get to see them as a team longer than just 1 season. It should have been 2 seasons before they started that, but they were forced to kind of rush it to an abrupt end and rush certain story arcs because Disney was demanding the end of the show to replace it with a trash ass show. And the reason Marvel animation is terrible nowadays, with the exception of X-Men 97, and I'll talk about why that is. But the reason why Marvel animation is trash is because it depends too much on its cinematic MCU universe. They don't even try to tell original stories anymore. Now, to be fair to them, I haven't watched there's a new animated Spider-Man show right now, but I forgot what that shit's called. It just doesn't interest me, but I will admit, at least it's something new. I might watch it down the line, but Peter changing costumes every fucking 5 seconds does kind of turn me off, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, that's besides the point. The reason why X-Men 97 is the best Marvel animation in recent years is because it brings back an awesome universe. Not because it's nostalgia bait, because it's the first Marvel project we had in a while that had nothing to do with the fucking movies. It stayed true to its comic book counterparts. And again, I'm not saying a Marvel show or a comic book property has to be 100% one-to-one with the comics. There are some things that can change. For example, Iron Man in the movies is a way better character than Iron Man in the comics. I'll probably make a video of how just fucking awful Iron Man is in the comics compared to his MCU version, but the movies can sometimes make the characters better. Batman himself was seen as kind of a goofy hero until the Christopher Nolan movies came out. So like I said, the movies can make original concepts and improve the hero, way better than it used to be. I'm just saying I want something original and not some soulless copy that solely exists just to get more money. You know what I mean? Cough cough Avengers Assemble, or cough cough this stupid Marvel What If series. The few original things that Marvel occasionally tries to do is shit no one cares about. No one wants to watch a fucking Wakanda show about some dumb lady we don't know, and she's not even the Black Panther successor. At least make her a Black Panther successor. But they literally, I don't even know what the show was called, but it made some Wakanda show about Black Panther on some Gotham bullshit energy that CW tried to make. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like they made Gotham. It's a Batman show without Batman. Or that stupid Captain America Falcon movie. It's a Hulk movie with Captain America. You know what I mean? It's just fucking stupid. But anyway, I'm going on a rant. The point is, X-Men 97 is one of the best things because it's actually original. Yes, it pulls at your strings with nostalgia, but it tells an original story. It's in its own original universe with its own original characters, or at least its own original iterations of these Marvel characters that we love. That's all we ask for, because when you do stuff like that, you get more consistency. You know what I mean? You get actual narrative, actual fucking story arcs that actually fucking matter. And by making it PG-13, which it should do nowadays, we can get more, action live shows. That's why X-Men 97 is one of the best Marvel animations ever. And while I wouldn't mind rewatching it a couple of times. But anyway, so I clearly show you why, the Marvel animation is trash. One, because it doesn't even try to be original no more. Again, Avengers Assemble is really the greatest example. Again, Avengers Assemble is everything wrong with Marvel animation right now. They try to just pull at the movies, and that show is basically just a soulless recreation of the movie Avengers and puts them, going to more action adventures. But it has no character arcs, no story arcs. It doesn't have, it doesn't have any romance, which I kind of like on my shows a little bit too. It just doesn't have anything, It's just the Avengers fighting villains, and it doesn't even have, a consistent story or like consistent continuity. Like I said, it was really hard to watch this Avengers show. And like I said, I don't completely hate it as other people do. It has its things, and I honestly think it does. The only thing I'll give this show is that, over Avengers Mighty's Heroes, is that the Avengers actually feel like a fucking family. And Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which honestly is kind of on brand for Marvel Heroes, since, Marvel Heroes routinely snake the fuck out of each other. It's actually fucking ridiculous how many times these so-called friends have tried to fucking kill each other or do straight up some unforgivable things to each other if you really think about it. Like, it's hard to believe Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man are still quote-unquote friends with all of the terrible things they did to each other, such as Iron Man sending Hulk into space, Iron Man, causing a Civil War event and getting Captain America fucking killed, and I don't even know how many times Iron Man has consistently tried to beat up Thor or tried to fight him in some way, only to get fucking wrecked afterward. You know what I mean? So it's kind of on brand with the Marvel Heroes and actually comic book accurate, but still. The Marvel Avengers and Earth's Mightiest Heroes don't with the exception of a couple of members, they don't truly feel like friends or a family, at least not to me. Like I said, there are a couple of exceptional members, but by the end of the show, Hulk still feels like a fugitive. Like, his whole arc was him going from, like, a giant monster to, a heroic giant monster, or him always being a heroic monster, and people finally understand that that's actually what he is, rather than a giant monster they think just destroys things. But his character arc feels extremely flawed, since literally after his rampage, now to be fair, the Avengers did try to help him, but after they tried once, they gave up on him immediately, except Cap and the Wasp. Hawkeye was established as Hulk's buddy, and you'd think Hawkeye would have a little bit of sympathy for Hulk, because Hawkeye and Hulk were both fugitives at one point due to some bullshit that wasn't their fault, and then they later became friends, helping save the leader, welcome back on the team. And in season 1, they were pretty much best buddies. But Hawkeye is one of the first people to turn on Hulk after, the Skrull invasion event. Very inconsistent writing, but at least, it's a story arc. So like I said, there again, every show has its flaws. More so Avengers Monday Series season 2 than season 1. But I really just think that's because, again, by the time we got to season 2, the whole Marvel mandate of make the shows like the movies so we can sell more money, this thing was starting to take over. And this show basically confirmed that the season 2 was going to be the last. So they had to rush an abrupt ending and rush a couple of story arcs. Which is why season 2, why I felt rushed. But anyway, I'm going on a really big rant. But the point is, Marvel animation sucks now because they tried to, again, soullessly copy the movies. And Avengers Assemble, let me just give a couple of examples. The only consistent character they had was Falcon. He was the only character in that show that actually had a character arc and stayed the same. Originally, when Ant-Man shows up, he's Hank Pym, and he turns into Scott. And he has a completely original story, but as the show gets on, Ant-Man just keeps fucking changing. You know what I mean? And, certain shit like that. Like, it was really hard to get a touch of Avengers Assemble because it wasn't consistent. The entire universe would just change. Guardians of the Galaxy is the best example. First, they're just a comic book version, and then they get completely retconned into being more like the movies. You know what I mean? But yeah. So again, Marvel just tries to bank on its MCU and they're doing it in a completely wrong way. The reason why the Spider-Man games and the upcoming Wolverine game will probably be the best things Marvel's done in a while. And the reason why, and even though a lot of people don't like it, Avengers PS4 feels way better than, I just think with Avengers PS4, the story mode at least, as just a continuation of somebody's heroes, and it fits so well. But the reason these projects are so better is because they are completely original continuity. And that's what people want. I lack of a better word, we want original iterations that pulls from both the comics and movies, but it's its own thing. Like the Batman Arkham games, he isn't just Batman from the movies or even from the comics. He's his own thing. He pulls the best aspects from both, and it's his own original character. So that's what people want. We want an original iteration of the Marvel Universe that pulls from the comics and the movies, and is consistent, has story arcs, and some really good fucking action. So, wow, that was a long ass rant. But anyway, so let's go ahead and discuss how they can bring Marvel animation back. So there are two ways to do this. So one, you can bring back Spectacular Spider-Man, Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Not like bring back the shows, but bring back that entire verse. Again, all of this shit is pretty much connected. It's been confirmed by multiple people, and even Josh Keaton, voice actor for Spectacular Spider-Man, wrote voice lines for the episode that Spider-Man appeared in Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes. And the niggas literally betrayed him because the future guy who, was a part of, who voiced Ultimate Spider-Man, they replaced him with Nathan Drake to promote their upcoming Ultimate Spider-Man show. Now, if you watch my Venom video, you already know that I really, really, really do love Ultimate Spider-Man. Since, I think it's Disney's best show in the early 2000s. Only because it's the only show that's actually original and has its own continuity and it's actually consistent. And the action is fucking awesome. There is one thing I'll give Marvel Disney shows though. The action they have is fucking awesome. I'll give them that all day. But anyway, point is they can bring back that entire verse. They should bring back Spectacular Spider-Man, finish the story arc, so people respond to it. People are inevitably going to love it. Then probably make an Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes movie to see if there's any interest in continuing the show. I would make it a movie in a very simple one. Not a too complex plot. Just basically have them fight against the Masters of Evil, make an awesome plot, and have them kick their ass for like, I don't know, two and a half hours straight. So make a really awesome Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes movie and see how people like it. Maybe make an X-Men movie too. You set in the X-Men, or the Wolverine and the X-Men universe. I would personally just make an Avengers or somebody's heroes, movie, and then after that, make a whole show where Spider-Man and X-Men, and basically it's really about the Marvel Universe, but with the Avengers name. That is the best way to bring back Marvel animation, and people will love it. The second thing they can do, which probably could actually happen, since the other shows have long been canceled, and it's very unlikely that Marvel will bring back their fucking golden era of the Marvel animation. But one thing they could do is bring back the 69 universe. We already got X-Men 69 or 9. I don't know what the show is called or what era it's in. But we already got the X-Men 97 universe. So why not make Avengers, 97? Have it take place in the original universe. Personally, I'm not really a big fan of that universe. The only good thing they did was X-Men. I do not like that version of Peter Parker at fucking all. I think he's a fucking crybaby. And that's gonna piss off a lot of people in the comments because a lot of people love that show. Me personally though, I cannot stand that Spider-Man. I fucking hate him. But again, I wouldn't mind him coming back and maybe written better in this new universe. So what they could do is make an Avengers 97, cartoon show. Not a movie, a show, and make it an origin film. Fuck it. We never really got to see a version of the Avengers in this timeline because they weren't that popular back then. So bring back the timeline and, show us how these Avengers formed. Show us the Hulk 69, maybe the Iron Man 69, and the Captain America from that time. It would be cool as fuck to see how these heroes formed and, how they work together with the other heroes. And, see how they formed and go on adventures that they have. Kind of like a soft reboot of Avengers or somebody's heroes, but this with these guys. Again, it would be nostalgia and it would be fucking cool, depending on how they write it. And, maybe seal it off with Spider-Man, Spider-Man and his plotline. He did have a lot of unresolved plot lines, since he did get Mary Jane back, but it would be cool if we got to see an episode, maybe a movie of how he even got Mary Jane back in the first place. And yeah, honestly, I think Marvel should just bring back its original Marvel animated universe. They have more than enough resources to do it. They should bring back the, I'll call it the Spectacular Avengers X-Men verse, for the lack of a better word. Or they can just bring back their 69 universe or 97 universe. They could do that too. But anyway, that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to say, or ways they could bring back Marvel animation. Are they going to do this? No. Are they going to see this video? Probably not. Even if they did, they're probably not going to do it, since, I don't know who the fuck's at Marvel right now, but aside from the comics, nothing good they're doing is hidden so far. You know what I mean? The movies aren't too bad. I like some of them. But again, their animations is completely in the trash because they refuse to do or can't even comprehend the most basic shit people want. It's almost like they're out of touch, or it's almost like the people at, writing Marvel right now don't actually care about Marvel and just want to use it to make money, which is why so many projects seem very soulless and stupid nowadays. But when that's all I wanted to say, I just wanted to make a video about how they could bring back Marvel animation, since I believe at its highest potential. It has potential to be either equal or straight up better than the DC animated universe. DC animated universe is actually falling off right now, so this is the perfect time for Marvel animation to take it back. If they're smart about it. But when that's all I wanted to say, like the video if you enjoyed it, and Dev Sentence out.